Hey team, in this tutorial what we're going to do is we're going to discuss briefly ChatGPT and a little bit about what AI software and chatbots can offer to you as a college student. Some of the ways that you can use it as a valuable tool, but also ways that you can avoid some of the pitfalls. Certainly address some academic integrity concerns, but also to discuss how you might be using it as a crutch rather than as a valuable tool to improve your writing and make you a better writer. Let's just take a brief look. I know that as the technology is still very new, we're going to find more ways that this could be this can be valuable. We'll explore more about what ways that it can some of the opportunities and some of the challenges it presents to us as students, and then also as instructors, ways that it can be ways that it can be valuable, or problematic, right? So let's just take a quick look at what it has to offer. The first thing I'm going to do is just ask it to introduce itself, right? Just what is Chat GPT, right? And what do you offer the college students, right? And let's just see what it has to say. Oh, it doesn't know. let's try this again, right? So let's just see if it can tell us what a chatbot is, right? So what is a chatbot, and how might I use it as a college writing in my college writing, right? Okay. Awesome. I'm sure it's going to have to say a couple more things, but there we go. It keeps going. Let's see what let's see. Have we have a finally here? All right, so we said a chatbot is a computer program designed to simulate conversation with the human users. Basically, it's designed to simulate human speech. So what it does, it basically takes a corpus of work. In this case, it's pretty much everything that's been written online, and tries to mimic that as closely as can. So here's some ways that they might help you as a college student, right? So they might help with writing assistance, right, by suggesting synonyms for words or phrases, or helping you with grammar and punctuation. It can also help you say or organize or manage your time for more effectively. For example, it might be able to help you create a schedule for the week or remind you of upcoming deadlines. It might be useful in finding or accessing information. For example, you might use a chatbot to help you find articles or other resources. This actually is a really interesting use, and this is something that I definitely think that we could use, right? If, let's say, for example, I'm writing a paper about prayer in school. Let's just see if it can help me find a couple relevant Supreme Court cases that might be relevant, right? So if I'm worried about prayer in public school, can you help me find some relevant Supreme Court cases that I can cite in a paper? So what we're seeing is immediately, and very very quickly, is able to find the case. It is able to provide a very brief and very accessible explanation. It's able to it's able to help us understand a little bit about some of the discourse that's been happening back and forth on the topic. This is a very very valuable research tool. Let's just ask it. What are some of the prompts that a college a college student might ask might ask this program in order to improve their writing, right? So what prompts might a college let's say what prompts do you suggest, right? A college composition student ask in order to in order to improve their writing. What prompts do you suggest a college student ask chat ChatGPT, right? Oh, whatever. All right, here's some prompts. How can I make this writing more clear and concise? What are some strategies for improving the organization of my essays? How can I make writing more engaging or interesting to readers? What are some techniques for incorporating my resources effectively? How can I improve the use of my grammar or mechanics? Absolutely, they're helpful, and these are certainly prompts that would be very valuable if you were to try to understand more about language and writing and how to improve your writing. Let's try this. Let's try giving it a prompt and seeing what it puts together, right? So let's say for a second that we're interested in getting more research about prayer in school, and in particular, I want it to to give me a pretty good counter argument, right? So can you provide me a good counter argument against sorry you know sorry if I were trying to write a paper um, you know about prayer in school, right? Let's see what it says. Right. So this is an example of if you were trying to write a paper to support parent school, right? So here's a potential counter argument, right? Which is that it would be a real problem regarding the establishment clause. What basically happened is the program was able to look at again the large corpus of work. Man, it goes on. It's amazing, right? It was able to take a look at the large corpus of work that's been written on the subject, very quickly come to some sort of statement about it, and then write a paper, right? So not a paper, but some paragraphs that might be really interesting to consider if you were trying to take a position here. And so this is actually really great if you're trying to do some brainstorming, or if you're trying to do some if you're trying to anticipate counter arguments, or again just become more familiar with the discourse. I do want to address ethical concerns, right? So I mean, again, let's just ask it real quick, right? So what ethical concerns might a college student consider before using, or let's say as they use ChatGPT? ChatGPT. We may have stumped it. Is stewing over it. Okay. Well, let's ask it particularly about um, chatbots, right? So what ethical concerns might a college student consider before using AI writing, artificial intelligence, writing software, right? Here we go. All right. So this is certainly the big one, the one of plagiarism. We definitely want to make sure that our writing is our own, right? So yes, it is certainly possible to get a paper spit back at you, but just because you get the paper, to respond to you, so you get the chatbot to respond to your prompt, doesn't necessarily mean that it's your paper. What it says you're producing work that's not original. It might not be properly attributed to the original author. It's important to ensure that any work produced with the help of AI writing software is properly cited, and that the source of the assistance is disclosed. So in other words, you don't want to pretend that you wrote this without the aid of AI writing software when actually you did. Accuracy and reliability. Bias actually, so this is actually something that's kind of is interesting and real. I'll give you a quick example of what this might look like. But it just says it can produce work that's inaccurate or unreliable. There's a caveat right when you open the program that says that it's not terribly good at at information that's been posted post 2021. This is definitely a concern that you want to consider as you're writing, especially about issues that are very, very current. Bias, bias is actually something that's really fascinating. We've seen this, for example, in we've seen this for example in facial recognition software, where basically facial recognition software can be awfully racist, right? Where people of color are misidentified more often than white people. These are very real concerns, and so you definitely want to be aware of biases. And then issues of privacy as well. I would say that you definitely want to understand more about how these programs are monetized. You want to understand more about how private your information is. You want to know more about what's happening as you put information into the chat bot. Let's give one particular concern, which is the accuracy and reliability. One prompt that you'll find often in college writing courses is going to ask you to take a text and to analyze it. I'm going to do that real quick, and I'm just going to ask it to analyze a relatively well-known text, and it's one that has appeared in writing classes in the past. And so let's just take a look at what it does, right? So can you write a 750 word rhetorical analysis of Tim Wise's white swim in racial preference? Okay. Let's just see what it does. So it says, sure, here's my essay, right? So here's here's the first thing that I would notice immediately if I were a teacher reading this essay, right? This quote, he writes that people of color are made to run a gauntlet of bias and discrimination, and that they're forced to navigate a minefield of racialized obstacles. That quote neither of those quotes appear in the text. This is what's basically happened is it's looked at it's looked at keywords like whites, racial preference. It's looked at works that Tim Weiss has published and looked at student writing about this, and it has basically built a paper that's kind of sort of about sort of like the general topic, and it's sort of making up sort of quotes that might appear in something like this. Here's an example. He cites studies, statistics, and personal anecdotes to demonstrate ways in which racism shapes the opportunities and outcomes. There are no actual Weiss doesn't actually include any personal anecdotes in his in his paper. This information here that African Americans are more likely to submit from school and less likely to be admitted to college, even when they have similar grades and test scores than their white counterparts. This certainly might be true, but it's not. But this is never mentioned in the article itself. And so what's happened is that you've given the AI a task which is able to do to the best of its ability, but this paper that it turns in is actually that's feeding back to you is actually wildly inaccurate, and would signal immediately to an instructor that it's been plagiarized. Back to the academic integrity concerns. We want you to use every tool that's available to you. We definitely do think that this is going to be valuable. That you can use tools like this to write stronger papers, to get feedback on your papers. Let's try this real quick. You give me some feedback on that introduction paragraph. Let's just see what it does. So what's happening is that is that it's taking a look at the paper that I wrote, right, and saying, man, this is actually a pretty good paper, right, and it's and explaining kind of the purpose of each of the sentences that appears in there, right, and then it offers a little bit of feedback. You know, this is absolutely valuable for you as a writer. This is definitely something that can help you as you consider ways to make your writing stronger. But again, you definitely don't want to use this as a crutch. You don't want to use this as just a tool to help you cheat. Again, what I would say is that we should use every tool that's available to us, but make sure that we're doing it in a way that is that is valuable, but also ethical. Thanks for your time. Good luck, and we look forward to teaching you this semester.